Are you searching for a church to call home or a ministry to get involved with? Welcome to Ministry Connections. I'm Evangelist Patrick Hoban, your host and a local ministry director here at AM 980 The Mission. Each week we introduce you to a local church or ministry that is making an impact here in the Twin Cities. And you can also listen to past or present programs on our YouTube and Facebook pages. Just look for AM 980 The Mission. Now today we are not just doing locally, we're going national. My guest is Nicole Hunt. I'll focus on the family. Welcome to the program, Nicole.
Thank you for having me.
It's all our pleasure. Now, a lot of people want to know where you're from, your background, and maybe how did you come to know Jesus as your personal Savior?
Great questions. Well, I'm blessed to currently live in Colorado. I was born in Southern California, and my husband and I lived for some time in Washington, D.C., where we were involved in politics on Capitol Hill and started to have a family. And we just knew we wanted to find some roots to have our kids grow up in a saner place. So we ended up in Colorado, which is where my husband is from. And my background is law and politics. I'm a lawyer by training, practiced law for a number of years. And now I'm blessed to be able to use all of the skills and talents that God's given me to be an advocate for families, for parents' rights, for the preborn babies in the womb, advocating day in, day out, really, in a culture that doesn't always understand. They don't understand parental values. They don't understand parental rights. And lots of times, of course, they don't understand the rights of the preborn either. And so it's a real ministry opportunity to be able to be light in culture today. And so I'm blessed to be able to do that. And I'm one of the lucky ones who was able to come to know the Lord as a young kid in the church, actually, attending summer camp at church and getting to know God that way. And thankfully, I've been able to have so many great mentors along the way who've just come alongside me in different seasons of life, whether it was in high school, learning how to better exhibit my own individual faith. And then in college, I was able to attend a Christian university, but being able to ask really important questions about the meaning of life and our purpose, and do that in an environment where I had lots of Christian advisors who were just feeding me God's truth. And so I'm blessed now to be able to use that wisdom that I've gained over the years and to be able to advocate for those truths in our culture today.
Fantastic. Now, how long have you been with Focus on the Family, Nicole?
Let's see, it's been about 4 years that I've been with Focus, and gosh, it was such an exciting time. When I started was about a year before Roe v. Wade was overturned. And so, of course, you can imagine having a legal background, and then, of course, all of the legal fights now that are taking place over abortion policy across the country. It is a fantastic and very exciting time as a legal professional to be following this issue politically, because there's so much happening in the courts and really things can change all of the time. But of course, the reversal of Roe v. Wade, I mean, that was generations in the making.
Huge
and
deal.
Such an answer to prayer. And so it is a very exciting time to be an advocate for life and for Focus on the Family.
No, it's a huge deal. And of course, here at Salem, we are very much pro-life and what I liked what you said is pro-unborn children's rights. What a concept, right? That they are also equal in the eyes of God, even though they're unborn. If my statistics are right here, 500,000 babies saved. Is that correct?
It is. So Focus on the Family has this really special program called Option Ultrasound, and it's been around for a really long time. We partner with pregnancy resource centers to make sure that they have ultrasounds, because we know that what's most important when women are making a life or death decision about a preborn baby is that they know what's really there. And so we know that when women are given the opportunity to see their baby, to listen to that heartbeat, it brings it to life in a way that nothing else can. And so we've had this program for many years now. And yes, the statistics are that over 500,000 babies
Wow.
have been saved through this program. And let's not forget that that also represents over 500,000 women who have been saved
Mm.
from the tragedy of abortion, because it really is. This is why post-abortive counseling is so important for many of the pro-life pregnancy resource centers, because many women do come to regret that
Of
abortion
course.
decision. It might not be the next day, but there's going to be moments in their lives they'll know, gosh, that baby would have been 18, that baby would have been 21, that baby would be getting married. And so it's just very important because it saves two lives. It saves that baby, and it also saves that mother from making a tragic decision that will come to regret for the rest of her
Yeah.
life.
And as a man, a lot of men are the hidden victims and grandparents are the hidden victims because
Yep.
a lot of men don't have a say on what happens. And as a man, that is hugely important. So there's so much into this. But also, of course, we read a lot of the books that focus on the family put out there. Before we get into what I really want to get into today, over 210,000 parents have been helped with crisis with their children to focus on the family. That's
Yes, and
amazing.
of course, I mean, parenting and family are two of the major cornerstones of what our organization is about. It's about coming alongside parents who are in crisis situations, maybe with their small children, maybe with their adult children, and needing to know how do I help them? What can I do? And gosh, now more than ever, our culture is so counter biblical worldview.
Mhm.
There's so many ways that younger generations can just be led astray or believe the lies of the enemy in our culture today. And so walking alongside parents to try to figure out what can I do to love my children where they're at and to be able to speak truth is just so important to focus on the family. And so that's something that we value very much.
Yeah, it's important in every way, right? Even for people that don't believe because they don't understand, and we need to help them with that. What surprised me when I got an email from your organization that you were labeled, Focus on the Family was labeled as a hate group, which was amazing to me, frightening in a way. Speak to that a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I will. So recently, the Southern Poverty Law Center came out with this updated hate list. They release it every year. And to tell you a little bit about the Southern Poverty Law Center, it actually started from really great beginnings. It was, civil rights organization advocating for African Americans and especially in the South, advocating that we ought not judge anyone by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And so, really wonderful beginnings, but sadly, the Southern Poverty Law Center really has just taken a turn for the worse. They've been used by radical leftists to really create a hate list of Christian organizations who have worldviews that are different than secular worldview. And so, for the first time in Focus on the Family's 48-year history, this year, we were placed on this hate group list. And we will tell you that is because we are faithful Christians who adhere particularly when it comes to the biblical teachings on the biological reality of gender
Mhm.
and natural marriage. That these are very countercultural today, and SPLC consider those a threat. It considers Christian worldview on those topics hate.
So what are you doing now on the political realm, Nicole, and on the legal realm to kind of counteract this? How is Focus on the Family doing this? Because this is relevant to all churches, all Christians, all Bible believing people that want to adhere to not only biblical truth, but also moral law and natural law.
Yep. Well, I mean, a couple of things. First, I would respond that, when you look to see what other organizations are on this hate list, some of them are really fantastic Christian organizations who are out there like us advocating for biblical truth. Groups like Alliance Defending Freedom, who are advocating for religious freedom, free speech, pro-life issues in the courtrooms. Family Research Council, who of course is a friend of Focus on the Family, they're on the list. The Family Policy Alliance, also an ally. And even those sweet Moms for Liberty, who are out there advocating for the innocence of their children, they're on the hate list too. So I can tell you that this list, as far as it concerns Christian organizations, really is a who's who of impactful Christian organizations that are defending faith-based and common sense beliefs about two things, about human sexuality and about marriage in our culture today. And I would add that it's fairly ironic that this group, SPLC, is using this fake hate list as a way to hate Christians. It's very interesting.
It's amazing, really, and it's sad. And people might be indifferent to it, but it's going to come knocking on everybody's door soon. In the last couple of minutes here, Nicole, how can people actively get involved with Focus on the Family or these other organizations, maybe on a local level, national level? How can they do that?
Sure. Well, I would just encourage you. This is what Focus on the Family is going to do. We're not going to back down for standing up for biblical truth. Because if there's anything that we've learned over the last year, and I think as we look at even just the political landscape, right, that people have more courage to speak common sense. They have more courage to speak truth. And the thing about Christians is that we're not motivated by hate. We are motivated by love. Mm-hmm. That is what that is the entire reason Focus on the Family exists, is that we are motivated by love to equip parents and families to be able to thrive. We know God's design and God's purpose for human flourishing, and it's our job and our responsibility, and this is one of our pillars at Focus on the Family, is that we have a social responsibility to influence culture according to God's design and God's purpose for human flourishing. And so my encouragement to others out there is don't be afraid to be bold and to stand in biblical truth, and that we need to continue doing this so that the left and those out there who have targets on Christians, they don't think they can intimidate us into silence. So for Focus on the Family, continue to pray for our organization, continue to pray for God's protection. We know that actually at some of these other organizations, when they've been added to a hate list, they had people show up to their facility, and in one instance, a security guard was shot. And the shooter said that he showed up because that organization was added to the hate list. So pray for protection over Focus on the Family. And I would say that, if there's any resources or any ways that we can help you, continue to come to focusonthefamily.org and focusonthefamily.com. You can find more resources there. We want to be of service because we know that if we can help your family, and you tell other families, we can help more families. And then we know that that is going to help across the country build stronger, not just families, stronger communities, a stronger nation. And of course, just remember that everything that we do, especially when we're motivated out of our biblical worldview, we're motivated out of a place of love. So we don't have to listen to the lies that are spun by the left about being hateful, because the truth is that we love people. If we actually hated people, we let them live in their sin and have eternity of consequences, painful consequences. We need to continue to act out of love and act out of truth and be bold and courageous.
And not only in this life, but in the life to come. And, there's so much at stake. Right here in Minneapolis, we can see the devastation effects on it. And there's so many great churches, Christians, ministries, non-for-profit organizations that are doing so much. And I get to broadcast the good that's happening out there. Just in the last few seconds here that we have, Nicole, a word of encouragement maybe for somebody that's going through a battle out there and they don't know what to do. Just a couple of words of encouragement for them.
Goodness. Well, I would encourage them to come to Focus on the Family. We have so many resources that offer encouragement, and we also can provide some counseling services. So you can go to focusonthefamily.com. There's a number there that you can call. We'll do an initial counseling session with you to give you some advice or some encouragement into your specific situation. And then after that, we can help to get you connected with a faith-based Christian counselor or someone like that in your community who can continue to walk with you as you address whatever those personal challenges might be, whether it's with your family or maybe your grandkids, or even in your own personal life. So please come to Focus on the Family because we want to help, and we will if we can.
Thank you so much, Nicole, today for your time with us here on Ministry Connections. We really appreciate you and your ministry. You've been listening to Ministry Connections on AM 980 The Mission. Today's guest was Nicole Hunt of Focus on the Family. You can hear us on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1:30 p.m. and also on demand on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Until next time, this is Patrick Hoban saying God bless you.